Hey, it's Phil. Before you're going to check out my Rants About Humanity episode, I also want to invite you to consider following me and subscribing on my podcast channels and my Rumble video player channel down below. You can find it in the description. With the increasing censorship and limitations of freedom of YouTube, I don't know how long I will be able to have my thought-provoking conversations on YouTube. So if you want to support me in my mission of freedom of speech, open debate, be sure to also check me out and follow me on those platforms, and enjoy this week's episode. Welcome everyone to the Rants About Humanity podcast. Today I have 𝗦𝗨𝗕𝗦𝗧𝗏. He teaches men sexual education without the bullshit. He is turning men to the best she ever had inside and outside of the bedroom. Thanks so much for being a guest on the podcast. What was your whole journey into relating to the feminine, getting better with women? Is it the standard route of like the pickup artist and getting good with women and learning the tactics and then delving deeper into the sexual aspects?
Bro, thanks for having me, man. I appreciate you. That's like, just dive in, man. Just like no lube. Let's get fucking in there and make it happen. I like it.
Yeah, let's first have some foreplay, but then we'll get to the.
That's it. Well, most guys forget about that. Fuck the foreplay. Just let me put my cock in the last 5 minutes. That's why a lot of women are so unsatisfied. But there's so many can of worms we could open up. But yeah, dude, thanks for having me here. Super excited just to break some shit down. Yeah. So my name's 𝗦𝗨𝗕𝗦𝗧𝗏, and just. Man, I've been like, let's just say this, man. Let's start off. I want to start off with the vision, what I do. And this is like really will just set the tone for everything. It's like, I just want to say like the vision of 𝗪𝗂𝗄. 𝗪𝗂𝗄 is sexual quantum leap. It's to elevate the sexual well-being of humanity. So men can have mind-blowing sexual experiences with women they care about by opening their hearts and connecting deeply with themselves. As a result, becoming the best you ever had inside and outside the bedroom. And the ethos of the company is really leaving women better and wetter. So we have a lot of fucking shit to talk about. And basically, man, 10 fucking years of being obsessed with sexuality, sexual development. And I just see, as you said, man, the no bullshit understanding about sexuality, because there's sexologists, there's sex therapists, there's fucking, you got your doctors, you got urologists. And it's like, man, I just got confused. I'm like, bro, I just want to know how to do this. How can I give fucking women the best fucking experience she's had in her life consistently? And that's why we have like the tagline of the company, like being best she ever had inside and outside the bedroom. Because we don't like do some woo-woo shit. And it's like, hey man, just feel your heart and feel your soul and hopefully it'll work out. But that's a big aspect of it. But then we don't just go, here's some techniques and practical understanding and that's it. It's like, how can you have the practical, technical understanding, but then also the aspect of having a heart and really a deep esoteric understanding about that? Combine that together, and then all of a sudden you've got this fucking mix of both, where I think people who are just like disconnected from one or the other, it's like, I'm just all head, but I'm not heart. It's like, how can you have those two together, bring that together for a succinct fucking union of real fucking sexuality? And
is it crazy that like when we're young, basically, like what is sexuality? This is the penis, this is the vagina, wear a condom, this is how you get pregnant. Okay, you get like the genitals. Okay, guys, now figure it out.
Yeah, exactly. Hope for the best, man. Like, here you go. It's like you got a cock. And the thing is, I think the pressure from us men in society, man, is like you have to be good in bed. And if you're not good in bed, you're a failure as a man. And the amount of men that I work with, when I really dive deep into it, it's like, I don't feel like a fucking man. I don't feel like I am accomplished if I can give this woman this mind-blowing experience. And then like,
did you have that yourself in the beginning, like coming from a place of incompleteness and then just trying to get the tactics and learning how to become good at sex? So you just wanted to get better and you were like already pretty attuned to it?
Yeah, sure. You did ask me about my story. Do you want me to break that down? Like how?
Just a little bit of an idea. I always like, instead of, the American style is like, these are the 5 tips how I was able to, but I also love like the journey, like what it was for you, because a lot of times what we teach, it's a reminder. It's like a teaching to our former self. So oftentimes there's a story behind it that some people, when they listen, they relate to it. Like, yeah, that's a bit at where I'm at right now.
Sure, man. Yeah, I'll break that down a little bit therefore. So basically, I got into this journey from a place of like a woman telling me that I was shit in bed. I mean, like, it was one of the fucking hardest things to hear, man. Like, she goes, you're fucking terrible in bed. And the reason I knew that I was terrible in bed is because I was a bit of a bad boy, man. I came from a place of like, I know what it's like to be an absolute cunt. And we say that in Australian because it's like you call your friend a cunt and stuff like that. It's pretty pretty intense, but like for me, it's just normal. But when I say that, man, it's like, I was like cheating on women. I had 3 monogamous girlfriends, was fucking a married woman and her best friend. I was just like an absolute maniac, hanging out with bikies and selling drugs. And I thought the only way to really be good in bed was to just I'm the man in the bedroom, just shut the fuck up and take it, girl. Where it's like, this is so fucking bad. And then basically I got caught selling drugs. I nearly went to jail, didn't go to jail. Then all of a sudden, bro, I ended up fucking the woman who was second in charge of my community service. So I got 100 hours of community service. I ended up having sex with this chick who was second in charge because I had nothing else to do. I thought, may as well just fuck her, and did that. So during the day, man, she was a goody two-shoes. She'd help me out, like doing the community service, fucking doing clothes, bro. And then at nighttime, she'd tell me to come over her house and we'd fuck. And dude, I didn't realize during the day, she'd like put clothes on the racks and help me like do that. At nighttime, she'd fuck 6 to 10 guys. Wow. And then she'd come back and fuck me. And then she's like, I want some more dick. I'm like, holy shit, dude. And then she told me I'll shit in bed. Like, she's like, I'll be honest with you, Andrew, you're fucking shit in bed. I'm like, are you serious? I know how to pick up chicks because I picked her up and she was my second in charge. I'm like, what else am I going to do? Talk to old people and fucking do this. So I did that, bro. Fucked her. And then she told me I was shit in bed. I ended up fucking her with my friends and shit like that. It was cool. But then that fucking hit me like a dagger in the heart. And 𝗬𝗏𝗕𝗎, one of my mentors, I don't know, Dr. John 𝗬𝗏𝗕𝗎, if you know him, he basically said, your voids create your values. And there was such a huge void and the pain. I'm like, I'm going to learn everything that I can possibly about sexuality and sexuality and masculinity from a perspective like I never want to feel that pain again. And not from a perspective I want to learn where the clitoris is and how it all works and all the anatomy. I'm like, I don't give a fuck about that. If you put me next to a sexologist right now, a sexologist would make me look like a bitch understanding the actual anatomy. But I'm like, I just want to know how to give a woman fundamentally the best fucking experience of her life. Did it come from trauma? Did it come from fucking inadequacy? Did it come from pain? 100%. But it came from a place of like, I want to work this shit out, not some fucking like, oh, maybe just touch her pussy like this. How can you really like dance in the fucking devil and then dance in the light where it's like, oh, chicks just want to be touched and caressed. No, bro. Most chicks want to be pinned down, fucked and ravished and choked. And then also have that gentleness. And I also talk about 6 S's of sexuality and how it's all thing. But in that, it's like that softness and making her feel fucking safe. But how can you also make her feel scared? When I say scared, it's that dominant fucking frame. It's like she feels so safe to show her all aspects of herself. And then boom! And it's like, where'd that come from? But then I'm like, then I can hold it.
Is there anything you learned from both your own experience with demons and with the woman you described who was like having sex with sex guys at night that you learned about shadows and demons?
My own demons or her own demons? Or
yeah, in general. I mean, I think, temporarily a woman can sleep with a lot of guys, but often there's also like a trauma wound or it's a temporary phase. And you being addicted and having all those troubles with like justice, like, did you learn anything about your own wounds, demons, shadows from that whole period?
Oh, for sure, man. If I look back on it now, I was like, fucking hell, man. I used to use sex as a validation tool big time because I go, who in their right mind would try and push to be the best she ever had consistently and drive so much to be able to be that man? It's like, it's been a blessing and a curse to do that. Of course, a lot of like my shadow was like, I want to be the best. Maybe it was like from the childhood, maybe from something popped up, but it was more like, I want to be the best in the bedroom. But it's been to my detriment personally in some respects, but it's also been to my advantage because now I can break everything down for my clients and go, do this, say this, have that aspect, this, and then also doing a lot of fucking heart-centric shit where it's like basically having the strong integrity as the man. Because I'm like, if dudes like say, what she doesn't know, bro, can't hurt her, or it's like, oh, bro, don't worry about it. I'm like, I know what it's like, man, to fucking cheat on women, hurt women, fucking lie, manipulate, and coerce. I've been that dude. And I know what it's like on the other side where you can have multiple relationships and have really flourishing sexual fucking connections and have women throw themselves at you from both angles. So I'm not coming from like one aspect or the other, man, if that makes sense.
What happens when a guy is good at sex or sexuality, but he's not connected to his heart? What does that look like?
Well, the thing is, man, the biggest thing for guys is retention. When I say retention, sometimes women just don't come back. And the bar is so low in regards to being good in bed. Like the average guy, on average, there's so many different studies, but there's one study that mainly men like last on 7 minutes on average. So if they're not connected to their heart, they might just fuck her for one night, but she might not come back. But if they can't deeply chat and get to know who the person is in front of them. I talk about, fuck, man, that's such a big question. I like the question you asked, but what it is, it's like they won't have the woman come back. They might not feel anything in the bedroom, and they might also go, cool. They might turn into this guy who does all the right things in the bedroom, but then they lose sense of themselves and their identity in the bedroom because they're trying to just please the woman, which I did, which women will consistently say, you're amazing in bed, you're a beast. But then it's like, there's that little voice going, what about me? What about my pleasure?
Well, this is also something that I had when I learned about pickup culture or seduction or relating to the feminine, that I have an aspect, and it is a bit like a beast. If I can't control it, it's so powerful, that sexual energy, that pure intention of me, like it can convince a lot. It can almost, but it can consume me. It's like on to the next one. Nothing deep, always like superficial. And, like the beast, it gets excited. It's so powerful. And then it destroys the room. And then it's on to the next room to destroy, It's very powerful. But sometimes you want to control the beast or let it out in a controlled environment, because else I also felt it destroys me, it destroys relationships, and it doesn't build something up long term. I don't know if you relate to what I'm describing. Yeah?
For sure. It's like the unhealthy. You can say, man, I don't know where you want to take the conversation, but you could be talking about the unhealthy masculine, the prince becoming the king, what that means in regards to that. It's very much taking.
It's very much taking. I'm dominating. It's fine. A lot of women like it. The majority of women like it, but it's like not coming from a place of like giving or contributing or devotion to something. It's like very much taking for only self-validation. And
correct. Yeah, I got stuck in that fucking phase for a long time, man, and that's what ripped me apart, because I'm like, I'm doing this, so then like, hey, man, I did this, and like this chick said I was the beast in the bedroom. Now look at me. I'm like, fuck. It only gets so far, man. And speaking in stages like hundreds of people, like I said, it's good, dudes. Like you get this fucking ego hit, you get this fucking absolutely insane dopamine hit, and all this stuff. But then at the same time, when you look yourself in the mirror, is that like a McDonald's high, or is it actually like really a rump steak? And I go, I want that rump steak feeling. And I'm not putting any of that down. Like, dude, running the sex parties myself, going to these events, kink events, fucking like spiritual hippie events, fucking running like all this shit, dude. It's just like, it got to a point where I'm like, what is important for me sexually and what's going to be nourishing for me personally, where I'm at on my unique journey. And that's where everyone is different. And then when guys like try and go, what should I do, Andrew? I'm like, I don't fucking know, man. I'm like, what do you actually want to do when all the chaos is still in your fucking, like all that chaos is gone and you got stillness? And I go, what do you actually want? And then they go,
yeah,
fuck, I haven't thought about
and
that.
Who are you and who do you want?
And what do you want to do in the bedroom, bro? How do you want to do that thing? It's fucking crazy, man. But, mate, so many different rabbit holes. I'll let you take the conversation. But
I also see that, and it happens a lot in the pickup community, and it's often the thing that, they're insane. I mean, you was about sexuality or maybe pickup in the beginning. They're so obsessed with pickup. You can't take them outside of the vortex. Everything in their life revolves around picking up women and getting good at women. And it seems that the vast majority, I was also the case, they need to go to that stage to know when I have the power to seduce women. I can do it. And then you fucking sleep with so many women, and you can still like have polygamous relationships. I have my own opinion about it, but at a certain point, like, how many times do I want to go to the same superficial experience and then prove to myself I can do it, when there's marginal gains to be gained from always doing it this way, going to the routine, having a date, having the same conversation, etc. It becomes at a certain point kind of saturated. But that's a journey for a lot of men. I feel that they need to go to that stage to then feel like, okay, what's the next thing do I want?
Yeah, for sure, man. And I just got to a point now. I actually found it's the irony of this conversation. I really, who knows, I'll look back on this in the future, but I found a woman that I just feel so met by. And I feel so deeply connected with. And I was like, fuck, this is what it's meant to feel like. I feel met. I feel like I feel safe. I feel like I've got someone who's got my back. And I feel like I met someone who's my equal in the respect of like a best friend who I have sex with. I always say like this, I've met my best friend who I fuck. I'm like, oh my God, babe, we've had so much fun on the beach, like on the night. We go talk deep conversations. And I have my talk about like the deepest part of who I am. And then like we're just laying in bed, like, and we get to have sex. Like, oh my God, this is like mind fucking blowing. And then I'm like, I was meant to go to Vegas like next year, man, and go Vegas for 3 months, and also then go to Europe for 3 months. I know Europe, just like general Europe, because I wanted to just have some fun again, because I've been doing a lot of business stuff like the last few years. I was going to do that 6 months, bro. I was going to go pick up chicks all around that. I was actually going to pay one of the best dating coaches I knew, not like because I always love being around the best guys in the world and just like self-development. So I would have done that, man, take my dating skills to the next level, whatever. But at the same time, I was like, cool, I do that for adventure and fun and play. But for me, just for where it's like, that would have been like 5-10% of like growth, and would have like,
you already tried that version of yourself, right? You already achieved that. Yeah.
But I was going to go with another guy, a really close friend of mine, who's like making $500,000 a month and nearly $1 million a month in his business, which is doing very well. But his whole life, he's never had those array of sexual experiences, never gone out to the club, never done that shit, where I've done a lot of that. And the thing is with him, he was like, he's overweight. He's fucking like, he's overweight. What else? He's smashing in business, but he's also like
workaholic, anxious, overworked, never satisfied. Yeah.
Hasn't had that many experiences with women. And he's like, I want to do this because I need that as my development. So then like doing that stage of development, I would never take away any of the pickup I've done. I would never take away any of the sexual experiences, because it's formed me to the man who I am and the character. And people are like, just be confident, bro. I believe a lot of my confidence came from finding exceptional mentors, but then still doing the fucking work, man. Like there's so many times like my mentors would say shit and it's like, do the boring shit. It's like people want to hype things up and do all this, like do this hype shit. I'm like, no, motherfucker. Do you know how many times I said fucking dirty fucking talk lines into the mirror or into the fucking camera? Time and time again with my tonality on a downward inflection. And do you know how many times I would fucking like take the bra off the pillow? Do you know how many times like I would fucking, there was a time I took my bra off my mum when she was wearing a top. There was a fucking funny story on that. I'm like, Mum, come here. She's like, I sent you to a good Christian school. And I'm like, Mum, but I got something really cool to show you.
Now you're doing this to me. Now you do this to me.
Exactly. I'm like, bro, I'm like, Mum, come here. I'm like, I'm going to take off your bra. I'm like, I can take it off in fucking 2 seconds flat. She's like, bullshit. I'm like, Mum, come here. So she's wearing a top. I come from behind her, boom, take it off like that. She's like, oh my God, I sent you to a good Christian school. This happened. Like, welcome to the jungle, Mum. Welcome to the fucking jungle.
I'm making you proud, mommy.
100%, bro. Come on, don't you take off your mum's bra?
I haven't done it yet. I haven't done it yet. No. But yeah, practice is practice, right? And then, I mean, in a way, this is also the thing that you learn in everything that you do. You can give people the tactics, but the mindset with which you approach things and the intention matters a lot. You can send a text, the exact same text to a girl, but the intention and the mindset you send it from will have a different response. This is almost makes you believe in a spiritual aspect of resonance, etc. You know, putting a message out there and then getting something back. Because yes, the tactics can help, but the mindset you come from is even more important. Amen, if you say something the right words, but it doesn't come from that mindset of like, yeah, you know, I have confidence, you know, I'm going to take you, you're mine. And then, you know, really like talking from that archetype that it's like, so arousing. But when it's like, you know, with a voice like this, it's like, you know, like it's not going to work, you know.
Yeah, get on your knees and and suck.
But that is difficult, right? Because you had that, which I still think like is one of the best things from RSD in the past, the blueprint from Tyler Durden, Owen Cook, where he also says, the true self always shines through, which is still one of the biggest quotes in that whole program. So what do you do to guys who are like in the fake it until you make it stage? Because there's also can be something of, you know, you let go of your old identity, you're working towards your new identity, and you're in that twilight zone in between. But when that mess up, because you're vulnerable, right? You're opening up to new possibilities. Then sometimes you have like, oh my God, that's even more shame, right? That kind of like when guys learn how to kiss a woman and then they're trying to go for it and then they get rejected. They can go into that shame spiral and, oh, fuck, no, you know. So that's often a difficult period of that identity shift.
Yeah. So what's the question, or is it just more?
How do guys deal with this? They just have to push through because they long for a new identity. They let go of their old identity. They open themselves up for rejection. They're getting feedback, but it's a very vulnerable stage to get like, they don't know who they are yet, you know. They want to let go of their old identity. They're trying to be that new person, but they're kind of in the limbo in between.
Sure. Do you know what it is, man? And I don't care, like, if like guys are watching this and they go, they want sexuality advice or whatever they do, whatever they like. I just do this, man. I find the best person I can find in my life. It's something I want to get good at. I just pay them whatever the fuck they want and I listen. And I shut the fuck up and I just don't activate my fucking conscious mind. And I just like my, and that's it. Like, it's really not rocket sciences, but no one wants to do that hard work. They want to like just hope it happens, or I'll read a book or I'll watch another YouTube video. It's like, yeah, you can learn some shit for sure, man. You can learn some cognitive stuff, but to get to get to that next level, like I'm not saying this is like, dude, like I don't give a fuck if like someone doesn't even want to work with me or they think I'm like too brash, and like just find someone you connect with in regards to sexuality, pay them whatever the fuck they want, and just listen and do that work. And there's no easy way to get around this. Like guys have been asking me for years, how can I do this? I can teach party tricks. Like here's how to make a chick squirt. Here's how to give her an orgasm. Here's how to get her obsessed with head. Here's how to fucking do this awesome position. But at the same time, man, it's just like nothing. Like it's like you're a different, unique human being to fucking everyone else. And then if someone's trying to fucking seriously, man, like shortcut the shit, it's not going to happen. Like, do you know how many fucking times I've been in times in bed, I've come too quickly, I've got an STD, I've got a fucking chick pregnant, a chick found out I was cheating on her, I fucking like, I broke a chick's heart, a chick broke my heart. It's like, you can't take away those battle scars and you can't take away that fucking like what's going on. And all I did was like, when I had those positions, sometimes I had people I could talk to and sometimes I didn't. I'm like, when I really had someone I could talk to, I'm like, hey man, this happened. He goes, oh mate, you're going through this. Like, oh man, I had this conversation with this chick and she's like freaking out because maybe I've got another chick on the run. How can I like make it where she's happy? And she's like, well, you say this, this, and this. That's why I'm a big proponent of like, that's why anytime, one time I either have 1 to 3 sexuality mentors that I'm still learning from about this shit, because it's super important, man. It's like, that's why like the only reason I go, hey, do my shit, it's because I'm like, fucking, because I'm like investing in myself so heavily consistently for like the last 10 years. That's the only reason. Like, how'd you get in your position where you travel the fucking world and you get to fuck all these chicks and have this experience? Because like, man, I invested in myself back in the day. I made like $1,000 a week at my job. Was fucking like it was a pretty good job, like just over $1,000.
No, it's the same thing. Like I might like you know, people tell me like, oh my god, you moved the country and now you're having more than 10K plus months. How did you do it? I've been doing this for like five years right now. I saved money. I worked my ass off. I read books. I got 9 mentors already, soon like 10 mentors, and I kept on evolving. And I saw it as feedback, and I know it was about a long-term change, the small wins, and then going through the process, and not just, it has to be automatically, or you have to have these quick fixes or shortcuts. Most of the things are not that way. You know, it takes time to get rid of old beliefs and old identities. But in this shortcut culture, or this culture where you only see the end results of people, it's difficult to show people like, hey, you're building your business. Well, probably it will take you 2 to 3 years to figure things out. Why? You don't know yourself. You don't know your client. You don't know your offer. Yeah. Yes, that's a harsh truth, but I'm a realistic guy. Like it definitely will get better from that. But if you get to 10K plus months in less than 6 months with these easy 3 tips, that's the big exception of guys, you know, especially when they're starting out.
Bro, I tell people straight up, man, I go, if you're going to work with me, it's going to be fucking boring for the first 2 months. Like, fucking boring. Like, you want to work, you actually want to get a result, you want to have women consistently saying you're the best you've ever had inside and outside the bedroom. First 2-3 months, it's going to be fucking more boring. Then after that, it's going to get fun. But if you want the quick tip, go to McDonald's. Like I'm not fucking here to do that shit. And the thing is, people I think there's so much bullshit, man, in regards to just knowledge out there. Like everyone's like kind of sick of that. As you said, quick 3 tips, quick that. I'm like, going back to what I said before. Like I was making about $1,000 a week, and then one of my mentors like, yeah, it cost me $1,000 an hour. No, $500 an hour. I'm like, I fucking work a whole week for that. I'm like, I consistently took the road of the path of most resistance, and like those little fucking things over and over and over and over and over again. It's like cutting down a tree doesn't happen with one swoop. It happens with those microchips, and that's all I've done, man. I've just like looked into sexuality, had good mentors, had shit mentors, learned from them, fucked up, had women cry, had women go, that was a shit experience, had women go, yeah, maybe don't do that again, to a point where I'm like, I know at my fucking depths. It's just like I just did the work. It's like guys like, oh man, I want to be that beast in the bedroom overnight. Like I can teach you fucking shit. Like go, like you guys like, man, well, go, where can I learn this shit? Go look at my YouTube
what is
channel.
your most important thing right now? Blah, blah, blah. I'll help you, blah, 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 in less than 90 days. What is the most important thing here for you? The time or the results and that things stick? For me, it's the results and that things stick, and that I can progressively make the mentor unnecessary for me because I can become my own mentor. But all this time focus, it's like, it also sets up these false expectations like, oh my God, everybody else is crushing it and I'm not so far. Like, no, it's just unrealistic expectations, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what's weird? I read the book She Comes First by 𝗕𝗓𝗓𝗓, I think. You know, it's about cunning linguist techniques. You can also advise some books to read. Sex God Method by Daniel Rose, more about the psychological aspects. And I posted it that I just read about it. It's one of the books that I go back to just as a good reminder. And you know, this reaction, like, oh my God, you have to learn about sex. You know, do you have to learn how to pee? And it's just so strange that it's such a valuable experience, important experience. And we buy so much stuff that doesn't make us happier, more fulfilled. Why is it so strange to get better at this stuff, you know, and get a bit better? I think it's one of the most worthy things to get better at. I don't know if you got that reaction from the general public, but I find it so strange to get this reaction.
It's just, you know what it is, man? It's so much more than just sex. Like, think about, like, really just, why do we do the fucking things, man? Go to the job. Like, think about just like a normal thing. Get the job, get the wife, get the house, have the kids, have a fulfilling relationship. Sex isn't everything. Let's just be real. It's like having a fulfilling relationship. But if you're not having sex, man, sex is the glue in a lot of ways in the relationship. Because if you're not fucking, you may as well be housemates. So I see this with a lot of couples who go, oh, we really have a great relationship, but there's like, where's that fucking like polarity? We're missing that sexual fucking tension. How can we fucking build that, man? And then I'm just like, that's the thing. They've missed that. And if you're missing the fucking sex, then people don't want to look into that, because as men, it's like, we got so much ego around it. It's like how much money is you like? You gotta know how to fuck really well, and you got to make a lot of money. And if you don't do those two things, you're a fucking failure. Until a man really looks at himself, and goes, you know what? Maybe I can't fucking make that much money. And like, you know what? Maybe I got to look into this. Number two, maybe I'm fucking shit in bed. I've got to look into this. But which man wants to admit two of those things? Because it's two of the hardest things that we can admit. I had to look at both those things. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm shit at fucking making money. I'm shit at keeping money. I'm shit at growing money. All right, I'm going to learn from here. This is my actual dollar amount in my bank account. All right, I'm shit at fucking sex. Or even if guys think they're good, like, it's not that hard to be that fucking good. Like, man, this woman I'm seeing now, man, 37 fucking years. 30 fucking 7 years, bro. She goes, it's the best experience I've had. And you know all I did? Any guy could have done this. It's not just me. She goes, when we had sex, you looked me deep in the eye and I felt your presence. So I've never had in my fucking 37 years of fucking living. She's a model, absolutely fucking gorgeous, beautiful fucking human being. I've never had a man look deep in my soul and just go, I used to see my fucking soul. When you can do that for a fucking human being and go, I see you, and she feels fucking met, everything else is fucking history, bro. It's that's what's fucked. And people think, oh, I just meant to learn this shit. Where are you meant to learn this? When you put a car on a fucking banana, when you put a condom on the banana at school and you go, the teacher teaches you this shit, and then no wonder there's so much sexual dysfunction, teen pregnancies, STDs, people feeling unsatisfied in the bedroom, like infidelity, fucking people having like side chicks, cheating, women like not having sex with their partners, feeling shut down. Like, I could name a fucking billion things, bro. It's just like, it's so insane that happens. And then like, it's like the people level of awareness, like when you got to wake the fuck up and you go to this job, and then all of a sudden you come home to your wife, you haven't had sex for months, and she's always got a headache, and then you just like go jerk off in the bathroom because you're so sexually unsatisfied, and that's normal because after 6 months the honeymoon phase is over. It's like, what the honest fuck, man? It's just,
bro, I also don't get it. Like, you know, all these things, like how to deal with anxiety, how to deal with depression, how to be happy, how to find out your personality, how to communicate well with other people, how to be good in the bedroom, how to be masculine, you know. What? You're reading about that stuff? What are you, retarded? Like, huh? But if I talk about getting a car or whatever, or I just bought, I just went to lie on a beach in Spain, like, oh my God, that's amazing to invest in, etc. Like, these are meaningful aspects of life. You find it strange that I want to become better at this essential part in life? How weird is this?
Who's the friend you're hanging out with, man? I don't have those people in my life at all anymore.
Me too. I don't have them anymore, but it's like, you kind of evolve and, you start to talk about the past and you have nothing in common anymore. But it's like, you're reading a book about happiness? What are you, depressed? Like, Yeah, I'm actually a bit depressed. I actually, I'm confronting myself in certain aspects. I'm not at a place where I want to be. I want to become more aware. I want to learn about it. And then I want to find some ways how to improve. Like that, this is for me the empowering thing about it. Yes, you see things in yourself, shadows, negative things that you want to improve. It's confronting, but it's also liberating because you can work on them. This kind of like, no, it's stupid to work on them. Or weird.
But with you, man, what drives you to do this, man?
In general, what I do?
What drives you? Like, what motivates you or inspires you to do this?
I think it's partly of my parents. We were just a product kind of the system and the education system that's told me to shut up, sit down, don't ask questions. Why can't you be normal? And I had to fight a large part of my life of not accepting myself because I call him a rebel with a cause. I was curious, innately curious about everything, asking questions. And I was constantly being like put down, you're weird, you're a freak, And I kind of relate with people who are these freaks, outcasts, critical thinkers, freedom fighters that they're needed now more than ever, and their voice has been like shut down because they felt like my opinion doesn't matter, I'm weird, I should just conform. So my deeper mission is kind of those rebels with a cause, people who were told like you're not okay. They are needed because they wake up people, they have a mission, they have something to say. It relates also with my freedom of speech advocacy. So I think it comes from that place.
Nice.
And when you feel like you don't matter, what you're interested in doesn't matter, what you say doesn't matter, like you don't feel okay. You feel like you don't matter. And freedom of speech is a way how to communicate it. And I see now what's happening with everything in the COVID period. We need people who speak that truth and wake people up from a prescribed narrative. Because when you see the whole thing about sex, about education, about getting the job, masculinity that's being destroyed, femininity that is just turning into a kind of perverted masculine. You see how much of our lives are being based on prescribed narratives. And a common thing that I see is the people who see through the nonsense is people who dislike authority. People are nonconformists. People have to fight hard to stand up for themselves and now have something that they can teach other people to wake them up. So that is like my bigger mission to do with this podcast and what I do in my academy.
Awesome, bro. Amazing.
And you, when you look at like the bigger mission, you talked a bit about it in the beginning.
Yeah.
What's your bigger purpose you feel? What is something that you wish the younger Andrew would have gotten or learned or realized that you now teach men faster?
You know what I teach, mate? It's the foundations of, I don't like when men, like when I work with men, like, yeah, I'll teach you how to be a beast in the bedroom. I'll teach you how to have the best sexual experiences. That's the easy part. But it's like the foundations of how the fuck do you show up in the world? Like when I give men that personal development stuff, I really go through who they are, like what inspires them. A lot of 𝗬𝗎𝗕 work I talk about there. How to set boundaries and how to stand up for themselves. And also how come from that place of like depth of heart and connected to themselves of like, man, tonight when I went out with my girlfriend for dinner, I was like very emotional as looking at, like, fuck, this is such a beautiful person. How can you have that softness, lead with that nurturing fucking care, but then also she knows that you have that backbone of fucking steel and you're that fucking warrior. Where this is where it's got lost, where it's like, where on the outside, like, why, dude, you're nearly crying at dinner, but I'm like looking at it with such love, depth, and compassion and care. I'm like, fuck, this is my person, and I'm so appreciative of her. But then also she knows that I would rip through fucking walls to protect her and fucking take out fucking other people if I had to. Not that I need to, but it's like she just feels that like I'm gonna provide and protect you, and I'm gonna fucking lead you. But leadership gets fucking lost with, like you said before, like dominance versus domineering. Dominance is like leadership with consent. Domineering is leading someone and being a cunt and only having your best interests at heart and not looking after hers. So when I'm saying this, man, I just see a lot of men get lost. I really, it touches my heart when I see so many men either like from a perspective like, I'm going to be a fucking bad boy, I'm going to show women I'm the fucking man. It comes from a very hurt place. Or the opposite side, just really effeminate men, just like, oh, it's just hold the feminine and just like let her be her, and then they don't have a backbone. It's like, how can you have both, man? How can you be the dude who has a backbone with a heart?
Bro, this is super interesting what you say, and there's a huge boy crisis going on. People can read the book The Boy Crisis by Warren Farrell. But I often see this also in masculinity teachers. They have this very feminized view of masculinity, to be soft like cookie dough, and then say like, hey, how to become a healthy integrated masculine is just to become more feminine, which I think is a wrong perception of it. And on the other hand, I sometimes see this hurt trauma-based 𝗦𝗂𝗕𝗦𝗖𝗥 men go in their own way, like, you just focus on your career and fuck some women, you know, and you're a status symbol, etc.
Yeah.
And I also find it like a very hurt place to come from.
I think, yeah, but the thing is, both extremes. There's both extremes, definitely, man. Like, and I've been in both those extremes. I've been in, man. Like, the thing is you can't deny what fucking women want. Like, I'm going to speak very just like basically, man, because that's how I usually speak, you know. But it's when I go to these really effeminate fucking like hippie fucking events and like these like tantric fucking retreats, man. Like, it's still like, say there's a group of fucking 25 guys and 25 girls. Still, the top 5% of dudes get majority of the women. Yeah. And that's the thing. And then I remember I was in a circle and some dude's sharing and he's like, you're triggering me because you're fucking taking all my girls. I'm not taking shit, bro. It's like, you're just a fucking pussy, let's be real, and you don't have a backbone, and women are not attracted to you because you have such a feminine fucking nature, and you think that they're going to say, like, just listen to my feelings and shit like that, and that's going to happen. It's like, they want to still feel your heart, but they want to feel your strength. And at the moment, you don't have your strength, and you just have this fucking, like, limp-wristed fucking pussiness nature, and you've actually listened to what she said, and that's what's happened, bro. And then I just, like, it's just, and then I called him out. I'm like, no, this is fucking on you, dude. This is just a reflection of you. Like, women don't respect you because you haven't stood into your fucking masculine fucking strength. And masculinity doesn't be. And then what happens? Sometimes guys flip the other way, and it's like fucking losing my words right now. They're like trying to prove themselves, but it's like it's so insane, man. That's why I'm saying. Back in the day, learning game is super important. Learning the fundamentals from technical, learning fucking understand depth to like the masculinity, like all aspects of like that. Like when I say masculinity, it's like could be very culturalistic as well. Because like what's masculine to fucking Western culture could be very different to what's masculine in Eastern culture.
Yeah, for instance, they asked a question in a group yesterday, like, it's my association, right? When what I associate with masculinity is dominance, leadership, agency, boundaries, structure, and what I associate with femininity is like grace, openness, kindness, receptivity, this kind of balance that I associate like intuitively me, right? What do you associate with masculinity in general and principles and feminine and femininity principles?
For what you said about the masculinity, man, it's like speaking your fucking goddamn truth and like owning that shit. Taking full responsibility of your actions, that leadership, setting strong boundaries with all the shit you just basically said, man. I'm in complete agreement with that. And then it's like, not like when you say you're going to do something, doing it and following the fucking
integrity, right?
Words, thoughts, and actions. And then when you do that and you look someone deep in the eye, go, I'm going to fucking do this. And I'm fucking going to do it no matter what.
Keeping your word, right?
But it's so simple, but so many fucking people try and put this on. It's like when a woman can feel that from you, man, like, I'm just there, I'm going to pierce your fucking soul. And like, I'm unwavering. And this is what people think masculinity, they think it's a strong pillar. This is what I learned from one of my mentors, which really blew my mind. People think it's just a strong pillar. It's not. But masculinity is not actually just a strong pillar. It's actually like a strong fucking hard cock. What I mean by that, it's like strong as fuck. It's erect, but still it's pulsing. And that's what a woman actually wants. She doesn't want you to just be this rigid fucking board where you're like staring at her. She wants you to be like that. Like she knows you're grounded deep in the fucking earth, but then she feels that pulsive energy and she just feels you. So she can feel you, but she can feel how sturdy you are as well. But that pulsing fucking energy, like a fucking hard cock, and that's why it's like that. It's that masculine fucking like life force, like that masculine fucking pillar. Where most people think it's just a pillar, fucking it's a concrete pillar. It's not, because then you're like rigid and you're like fucking constricted and you're constrained like this. Where it's like relaxed and still fucking she can feel you, the depths, and you're grounded into the fucking earth. And that's what changes the game, man.
And we also don't have these, I mean, look at these putzes. Look at these deadbeat dads that are in the mainstream media the last 30 years. Look at all these series like Ross from Friends and The Big Bang Theory. These emasculated men, these boys that don't know how to relate to the feminine. I mean, you can have Humphrey Bogart in Casablanca, you know, like this kind of masculine figure. Look now, where are the masculine figures? Where are the attractive men? It's all putzes. The women are the one who have common sense and still have reason. And the guys are just fat, eating chips, watching TV. Just look at The Simpsons, look at like Family Guy. But you don't have a lot of like figures like how to be a man and how a man shows up in the world in the cultural institutions.
Yeah, it's quite depressing, man. And that's why I think a lot of men are getting quite depressed and they don't know who to look up to, because then they get like, okay, be Homer Simpson or just be a fucking warrior and just be this fucking like, just to take shit like, oh, wait, sorry, what they got? They got Jersey Shore, bro, of masculinity, or you got fucking Homer Simpson. Like, that's it. Or then you've got some effeminate leftist fucking just love women, just hold space for them, and just like don't ever set a boundary. Let them be these free spirits, or just fuck it, bro. Just show her how to fuck her, man. Just take her. It's like, what the fuck is going on? And that's why it's like, I'm just like, how can you come from your intention is like love and care, but she also wants to know. That's what, man, like when I talk about the 6 S's of sexuality, like I won't break it down fully now, but basically, man, it's this. I talk about like a woman needs to feel safe, and she also fucking needs to feel like safe, seen, that she feels seen is basically you see her for who she actually is. Sexy is that you feel that you find her that she's actually goddamn fucking sexy. Sexual, she needs to know that you're a fucking sexual man, that you're comfortable with your sexuality. She needs to feel scared, like that you're a fucking man and you're not afraid to like speak your truth, say your truth, ask the hard questions, and just say what's fucking actually on your mind and take a man. One of the girls, like on my first date with like the girl I'm seeing, I literally just looked her deep in the eye, chilled, picked her fucking up, and slammed her on the table because she was quite an alpha chick, because she runs 2 businesses. She does these things. She makes fucking bank. She needed that. And I slammed her. I'm like, I'm going to fuck you up. Now, I don't recommend every guy say this, but I said this because she needed that in that moment of like, she dropped into a feeling like, oh my God, this guy gets it. But if she was like a really soft chick, I wouldn't say that. But it's like, I'm not afraid to fucking go to battle and like go to fucking war, man. And that's
but this is the thing that people don't realize, this image, like what women on the primary level, I think it happens in a space of like safety, they're providing, protecting, and then you can do this more assertive, aggressive kind of aspect. But look at all the women. What's the most sold book the last years? It's 50 Shades of Grey. Look at what kind of type it is. I'm not saying you should be like that type, but look at what kind of sexual scenario it is. And then you look at the mainstream media, like, is it okay that I kiss you? Is it okay that I get your number? Like, if it's fine for you, I mean, I don't want to be 2 and 3. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, bro.
Children ask permission to their mommy. You immediately set up the mothering relationship of asking for permission. Of course, you should calibrate, but the man is willing to lose their audience by speaking out, you know, and believing in themselves. And this permission-seeking behavior you see all around on TV. This is why so many men are confused. Like, this thing that I see on TV that they say gets me the girls is not getting me the girls. What is going on here?
Why am I like, man, look at like a fundamental thing with the, like you talked about money before, or we'll talk about money. It's like, not that I'm a financial advisor at all, but it's like, just if you listen to the news, put your money into the banks. That's it. It's safe, it's secure. It's like, they're like, what in the fuck, man? It's like, if you want to have sex, just tell a woman she's beautiful. And that's it. And now it's special. It's like, you're kidding me. Like, no wonder guys are sexually frustrated. It's like causing a generation of sexually frustrated men who aren't getting their needs met, and then it's all pandering to the pussy. And then all of a sudden they go, oh, I've got to do this certain thing to get sex. And like, good little Jimmy, you fucking just did that thing. Now you get a woman's pussy. It's like,
and white knighting, like, I'm gonna attack the alpha males, and then the women is gonna sleep with me because I'm pandering to the pussy. Like, okay, yeah, good luck with that tactic, man.
Yeah, and it's so, man. Even on that, man, I'll talk about this from the spiritual community, because I see a lot of people like they get lost. And like, I know what it is. I got to go now down to the spiritual fucking communities and learn about sexuality. There's so much loss and confusion there, man. From the perspective of like, man, I've been to retreats and on their level ones, like man, I've had a fucking dude finger my ass. And when I'm like saying that, it's like, it happened. Like, I didn't want it to happen, but it's like, you're in a group theory, and if you don't do it, then you're kind of left out of the group. So it's kind of like, you don't have to, but if you don't do it at the same time, then you're not part of the fucking tribe. And then it's like, people think that you have to do these level courses, like getting your ass fingered by a dude or touching a woman like that, or having like being around fucking this environment. It's like, that is not the way to spiritual or sexual enlightenment, or just sexual fucking like, you don't need sexual education. There's just so much fucking stuff. It's like sometimes these teachers, their ego is a fucking extension of their own fucking trauma, which is causing more fucking like insanity, which people just believe because they've got like, they're like, these teachers are 50 years old and people just believe them because they've created this school of thought, which I'm like, it's not fucking true. It's like, I don't want to have my fucking ass fingered by a dude. I'm not down for that, because apparently you're going to be more trans impersonal with the person who's there, so then you can have like more enriching experiences or some shit. So I don't like that. But then all of a sudden you feel like you get thrown into this like this fucking position.
Yeah,
like,
you also have this spiritual correctness that you sometimes have, because I'm interested in maybe hearing your opinion of what the whole spiritual perspective, or something of incorporating the feminine, or something in spiritual circles that is something valuable to become like a sexual dominant man. But I have 3 Thai massage degrees, right? And sexual energy is very, very powerful. So what you see right now is like all these women, and then there's this guy who's teaching massage. He has this status position. All these women are freaking lusting for this teacher, you know, and he has so much power. You see this in yoga communities, you know, like in the background, they're all sleeping with each other, you know, and they're all trying to have that dude. So to set boundaries and be respectful of that status position and sexual power that you have, especially in spiritual communities with so many beautiful women or lost people, that demands, again, integrity and setting boundaries, you know, because it can be very tempting.
I just say, fuck it, bro. You know what I really say? What's spirituality? What's spirituality to me? You know, like I just say spirituality. Are you following are you following what's true to yourself? That's what spirituality true to me is. It's not if you wear fucking mile beads, if you say this or you do that. Spirituality is like, are you following what's 𝗬𝗏 talks about like following your telos, like your highest values. It's like, are you following what's actually true to your goddamn fucking self? That's spirituality. I don't give a fuck what you're doing, man. And like, this is where it gets lost and confused. Like, and like, we're talking about the spirituality in regards to, I know what you're saying when you say spirituality, but that's how I see it, man. It's like, it's so much lost. Like, people think they have to speak a certain way, do a certain language, or then they have to wear a certain robe. Like, what the fuck? It's like, I'm in these fucking communities. Like, how many times I see like the chicks like, I'm just connecting to myself. Like, do you know how much fucking shit there is as well, man? Like, chicks like, I'm processing, I'm like this, something's come up, I have to fucking deal with it. It's just like, sometimes it's just like so fucking much and intense, man, where I'm just like, oh my fucking God. It's just like,
I went to that Thai massage course, right? And it was already like 6 years ago. And we just had a male circle and a female circle, because there's something powerful about a male circle, you know, and, you know, the biologically male circle, like, oh yeah, I'm a crazy dude who still believes in that. And even back then, oh my God, it's so patriarchal that you're dividing and stuff. And we feel like denegate. Even there, in like talking about masculine, feminine principles, we just want to have a male circle and share things because it's important. And even there, that political correctness, that identity politics already came in with all the bullshit and drama, you know.
That's what I'm saying, man. It's like, sometimes it's like more like, I'm processing, I'm triggered right now, I have to go through this emotion, this come up. Now I'm all for like going through stuff, but sometimes it's just like this washing machine of just like, I'm just like, I have like, and what about when it's like when the women like, I'm now a goddess. It's like one year before she's working in corporate, now she's a fucking goddess and a self-proclaimed fucking
boss babe.
Yeah, a boss babe. I'm like, what the fuck is going on with this culture, man? That's why I'm like, I just call it what it is. And I'm a little bit probably politically incorrect in the way I say it, but I don't give a fuck, because it's like behind closed doors. Sometimes like, I want you to treat me like a goddess, and then like, how many times, man, me and buddies and other people I know, it's just like, yeah, just fucking choke me and fuck me like a whore, and I want to call you daddy. Shit like this, man. It's just like, okay, cool. How tantric or fucking how enlightened was that experience? Like, yeah, well, fucking was enlightened anyway. But it's like, there was this chick, I'll never forget, man. There was this chick, she's like, I'm just looking for the divine masculine to sweep me off my feet and just hold me and just feel my essence of the woman I am, because I know I deserve that because I'm a queen. I'm like, and I said this because we're kind of mates, and I'm like, listen here, ho, you just want to be choked and fuck good, don't you? She goes, and that too. Like, you know, because I just cut through the bullshit, because I'm like, I've just seen a lot of shit, and I'm just like, I don't give a fuck, in the respect of like, I just it sickens me because it's like, speak your truth. For me, I'll sit there, man, meditate and go kumbaya, spin my fucking mala beads and really connect deeply to my fucking soul. I love that. But then I'll also listen to Eminem and I'll punch the punching bag. I'm going to fuck shit up today. That's the difference, man. This is just me. I'm not saying for everyone, but I'm like
this is the human experience. This is also why I love Alan Watts, who talks about, you know, the human experience of the spiritual experience and the duality. You know, he calls it the element of irreducible rascality, which I think is a nice term for it, you know. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, we are men. We're going to have the return of the strong masculine because we need masculine leadership right now. We live in the dark feminine. Everything is based on feminine principles, and we see where the world is heading right now. And these women are also bought into the prescribed narrative, and they often follow a narrative, and men are not stepping up. But when you, on a visceral level, you know what these women want, you can protect, you can provide, you can draw them into your world. But when you're going to pander to the feminine, you know, you're going to be swamped, you're going to be overwhelmed, and you're not going to have a good polarizing relationship. That's why the biggest issue for women to find a partner is the top successful women, because you have a thing, it's called hypergamy. They want to date of the same status level or higher. And these women are so high, they're competing for such a select amount of alpha dudes. They got so much competition that most of these women, they're just unsatisfied. Yes, they're the boss babe at their work, but in the bedroom, they want to be free from constraints, and they want the guy who steps things off so they can relax into their feminine.
For sure. And I see that, man. Like, but where is that coming from as well, man, when you really think about it? Like, I spoke to quite a few women who are like the boss babe or the fucking corporate chick. Why do they need to show how alpha they are? Where does that come from? And it's usually it's women who are fucking like strong daddy issues, or like a parental figure has passed on, or it's from a fucking very like, I need to show that I'm the fucking leader, or like they've just like emasculated cult. There's so many things, man. But usually I'm like saying it's like I want that strong male fucking figure, and they do this. Like even with a partner I'm seeing now, I have to tell her, like, chill, because she's a very fucking powerful woman. But she like, and like I had to bring that to her, but she can very soften quite easily to me. But at the same time, I go, you'd friend zone 99% of dudes. That's why you've been in the position you've had like multiple relationships. But you'd friend zone a lot of guys just because like you're quite intimidating. Because like if she's been a model for 20 years, man, and she's also fucking like running 2 successful businesses, and she's fucking like quite assertive, like most dudes are just going to crumble. Now she's not trying to do that, but she would be quite feminine. But at the same time, it's like, where's the men who are going to also? It's not our job to step in there and like put her in the feminine, because it's not a woman's job to put me in my feminine or put me in my masculine. That's the thing. When women's like, I want a man who's going to put me in my feminine. It's like fucking retarded. You're meant to like understand how to cultivate your own femininity. So then it's like that's the most light to a fucking flame, essentially. Like, sorry, a moth to a flame kind of thing. That's where men are like, oh wow, that's fucking super attractive for a very masculine dude. But at the same time, like I agree, man. There's masculine, like it's such a deep fucking concept that, like, for the women of like. It's like the femininity is such a fucking strength when utilized so, because it's like when a woman's like that, something like when a woman's caring, loving, kind, and just really gentle, and also she's like, she has her like, hey, this is who I am, this is what I'm about, this is what I like, and she comes forward with that so much love, man. It's like it's so fucking attractive, man. And that's why a woman I fell in love with was like, how can I look after you? How can I care for you? How can I like be of service to you? And I really appreciate your vision and your mission in the world. And yeah, dude, that's the femininity.
But I believe, and I'm a more traditionalist in terms of this sense, a man, yeah, cool, it's also about who you are, but we like to protect, provide. We want to prove ourselves. We want to associate ourselves with our work or job or mission. But most women, and I'm going to get hate for this, they can do stuff in their career, in their job, but they don't get the most innate feminine fulfillment from just what they do in their job or on the corporate ladder. That is not what fulfills them in general, but most women at the core.
Of course, man. It's like that's the thing, man. Like how many women like I've talked to with clients, it's like Sam's like, thank you for walking in my life. I've been waiting for you. I've been waiting for you my whole life. I've been waiting for this. I've been waiting for this man to step into my life and have this. It's like, cool. Make the money, do the thing, but it's like, what about like, okay, there's going to be a very rare few women who are like, I don't want to have kids, but then like the women.
And I know there's a lot of women at the end of their 30s, they're awakening, but they're kind of like mourning, like, fuck, I try to juggle everything, work my career, go for the boss babe, and you know, my beauty is waning a bit. I lost maybe some momentum to have like children. It's like, yeah, I've been living that prescribed. Not saying that women can go for a corporate career or have a job, absolutely not. But a lot of women, they're starting to realize in their mid-30s, end of the 30s, like, damn, I've been living a kind of life that isn't making me like super fulfilled, you know, and satisfying. And I kind of lost the momentum to maybe start a family, or because I think I talked about it in other aspects. I think the best thing is for a woman to get a good guy in her 20s who's older, who protects, provides. Maybe in the beginning she has 2 degrees until she's 23. Then she has 3 children or whatever before she's 30. And then bam, the children are older. You know, you can go for your career and whatever. But now we have it completely backwards. All these women try to juggle, especially in the beginning of their 30s, mid-30s, the role of being a boss babe, being a partner, being a good lover. And it's so much pressure on women in that period that it's just not manageable.
It's a lot of masculine. It's a lot of masculine energy as well, bro. Think about it. It's a lot of masculine, like holding that all together. And like, yeah, get the career, do this, but it's like, what do you want to do? Like, you know what it is, man? It's like simple. It's simple personal development. I'm actually going away for 3 days in a few days' time, man. I sit down with myself about like every 6 months and go, what the fuck do I actually want to do in my life? What is my dream day look like? What is 22? What is the next year going to look like? And why do I want to fucking achieve these goals? Why? We don't stop and give ourselves enough permission to look at the deeper why. And like when you have a big enough why, the how takes care of itself. It's that book. I forgot what it's called.
Starts with the why?
When you have a big enough why, the how takes care of itself.
Yeah.
That's Viktor Frankl, that book. Forgot what it's called.
Man's Search for Meaning?
Correct. And it's like when I heard that, I was like, that's so fucking true. Whenever I feel a little bit lost and confused, I don't have a clear why, I go sit with myself and have that fucking contemplation time. Because that gives me space going, what the fuck am I doing running toward? Where am I running towards? And why am I running towards this? And is it important for me to run towards this? And if so, what will be the end goal when I actually do get this? So I have that internal fucking dialogue. Then I sit in that feeling. I go, cool, I got there. Now what? That's what I do. And the thing is, I think we're just in this culture of Facebook, Instagram, go, I'm the first one to put myself up and do that. But at the same time, when I take that step away, I'm like, I have my life back when I'm not on Facebook and Instagram. And I can get so much shit done, bro. And then
yeah,
I'm like, holy fuck. I'm like, this is fucking insane. And
yeah, what am I doing it for? Yeah.
Yeah, the insanity of our culture. And the same with men. If we tie it back to sex, it's like, why am I with my partner? What am I not getting fulfilled? How come I'm not getting the sexual fucking connection that I want? What was it meant to be like? Am I shutting her down? Why am I shutting her down? When was the last time you did this, man? Not you, just anyone who's listening. When was the last time, say, guys with this fucking partner for like years? When was the last time a woman who you love? When was the last time you opened your eyes in the bedroom, looked her deep in the eye and go, babe, I fucking love you? Or babe, I love you, while you're holding eye contact with her when you're making love. Something as simple as that for a guy to take home. Or if it's a girl you're fucking starting to see and you tell her how cool she is when you're fucking her. It's like as simple as that. And then guys go, that's revolutionary. And then like, or a guy's like, if you're with your partner tonight, go tell her, make love to her and tell her how much you love her while you're having sex with her, while you're being intimate. And then just like express how much you feel about her. Most guys are afraid to express that because they seem like they're going to be pussies. But if they don't express that, they're actually being more of a pussy because they're pushing her away. It's profound, man.
Yeah, because I think when you express like why they are different or what you like about them or about the experience, like I also have difficulty in general of I'm too quiet during sex. I mean, with some direct it's okay, but like talking about the experience or how good it feels about the sensations, it doesn't come natural to me, you know.
Oh, Philip, your pussy feels so good, man. I love fucking you, girl. Yeah, take it. You like that when I pull your hair, you dirty little...
Yeah. What are some... Because it's more about mindset and the man that you are and being on a mission, of course. People can... and maybe at the end, you can also tell some books besides your book you're writing. It's coming out soon. About the way of the superior man and stuff. But what are some tactical stuff, some practical stuff in terms of like foreplay, or even before foreplay, during sex or after sex, that are some pointers, some tips that could also already make a massive difference besides what you said already, looking a woman in the eyes deeply?
Okay, wow, that's a huge question. That's a great question. You can do this. Slow down by 50%. Slow down. Next time you're with your woman, like, slow down by 50%. This is more for guys in like a quick rush in there, do the thing. It sounds like really simple, but a lot of guys like trying to rush. And what you can do is this. If you've got a woman who you really like, kiss her from head to toe, every single part of her body, and kiss all over her body. And then when you're kissing her, like every 10 seconds, you can stop and tell her how much you appreciate her. My God, you taste so good. I love how you feel. Fuck. Oh, the things I want to do to you. And then you keep kissing all over her body. Then you suck every single one of her fingers, and you suck every one of her toes, and you're kissing all over her fucking body and tell her how beautiful she is. And you're not allowed to go for the pussy. That, like, death by a fucking 1,000 kisses. You're doing that, and before you know it, she's just like, what in the fuck just happened? So you can do that. Slow down by 50% when you're doing shit. Go on my YouTube channel. Go learn how to give a pussy massage. Go learn how to make a chick squirt. Go learn some positions. I give away seriously 99% of my shit for free. Like, it's all there. And it's like, I can give you a million fucking techniques, man, but I'd rather guys go check out the YouTube, because I think it'd be better, because it's like, they go to the YouTube, it's just like, there, watch it. Here's a really great toy. Here's a wand. Here's that. Unless you want me to break down something more specific, because there's...
What I think, safety is always important, and that is something you should take into account. But people say like sex with a condom is the same as sex without a condom. I don't know what they're doing, but for me, the physical sensation is completely different. It feels like running outside with a raincoat in a hot summer. Like, whoa, the difference is whoa, like completely different in here,
Yeah. Well, with that, what you can do, man, if you want to make sex a little bit better with the condom, you can actually put a few drops of lube in the tip of the condom. Not a lot, just a few, and then it's going to be more a lubricating effect for you. Of course, it's way better without a condom, but it can still feel pretty good like that. But guys, like, how can I make it feel as good? Like, not going to feel as good, dude. You got a piece of plastic over your cock. Like, like, just get high quality condoms. That's basically it, whatever country you're in. Super simple shit, man. You could have told people that, but I'm just like, that's what I really recommend. And don't kid yourself as well about, like, I'm not here to tell you about STDs and pregnancies and shit like that. I don't want to dive into that conversation, but I'm like, I've got fucking chlamydia 3 times. I've got I got chlamydia 3 times. I've got gonorrhea fucking once, and I've contracted herpes. So I've actually got herpes, the virus too. So about 1 in 6 people actually have it. So you'll be surprised how many people actually have herpes. And people are like, it won't happen to me, dude. It's like, that's probably the dumbest thing that I've heard people say. It won't happen to me. Like, I've got herpes now for life, and I have to fucking, every time I'm with a new sexual partner, I have to tell them what's going on. And the thing is, when you're fucking your chick raw and you're putting your cock in there, like, for a guy, it's pretty obvious if you've got herpes, because you can see that. But for women, you can put your cock in there, you don't know, because it could be internal, and then one day you might get it, but then it might not. You might have.
And how do you see it then, or that it's like?
It just, if you got herpes number 2, the general herpes, you can see it's very obvious. So a woman, man, like, when you go down there, if it smells funny or it looks a bit fishy, like, it looks funny, or like looks like a bit off, or it has like a red spots, or like it's like doesn't look like, if it doesn't look clean, bro, just don't go down. Like, that's why they have a thing called dental dams. It's just a sheet of plastic you put over a chick's pussy. You think like, oh, it's not sexy to put that over. Well, try it. It's not sexy if you get fucking if you get STDs that you just can't get rid of, and then you have to talk every time with your partner that you've got this. Well, the thing is, most people are so ashamed of their sexuality in regards to if they have when I first came out about me like having all these STDs and shit like that from all these years, the irony of being a sex coach having so many STDs, I know. But at the same time, man, it's allowed a lot more people to come to the survey and go, fuck, I've got genital warts, I've got fucking herpes, I had gonorrhea, I've got fucking this, man. It's just allowed more shame, because if you hold on to the shame about the your STD, it's going to cause you to actually have more flare-ups. It's going to cause you to have more shame about your sexuality, which won't cause you to have that freedom of expression, which will cause more pleasure in the future. So that's why I see a lot of men shut down about this, bro. And I'm like, my job is this, man. How can I talk about my fucking sexual experiences and like sexuality in such a raw, honest way that allows people to have the most freest and fulfilling sexual experiences, because I've been through the most embarrassing shit. I remember bawling my eyes out when I found out I had fucking herpes, man. I realized it was more common than it was. I thought I had a death sentence, you know? So if this even helps one guy who's listening to this who has an STD, fuck, hope it does. I remember bawling my eyes out when I thought I got multiple chicks pregnant. I remember bawling my eyes out like multiple times. You're not a man if you cry, like, shut the fuck up, cunt. It's like, you're a real man if you can express all of who you fucking are and have that, as you said, that human experience, man, which is super fucking important.
Do you always have to use a condom then, or not? Or does the herpes flare up during certain periods?
The thing is, you still can pass on herpes even if you do have herpes. But if I do have a flare up, then I have to let my partner know from a perspective of, hey, I've flared up, so let's not have sex today.
And how do you know there's a flare up?
You see it. You have like you have an actual outbreak. Do you know? Have you ever had a cold sore?
Yeah. That's yeah.
So essentially, you've got herpes, but it's just called cold sore. That's all it is. So you've got mouth herpes, and basically it's just different from genital herpes. But that's basically it. So 1 out of 3 people, I think, have like cold sores, get hold of cold sores. It's just the same shit. It's just if you have them here or there, it's just a little bit different, man. So if you do have a cold sore, it's like you're just not going to kiss a chick, and then it kind of like flares up and it goes away. Usually when you're under stressful situations and stuff like that. So it happens, you know, and you feel it.
I had a conversation recently also about women, with a girl, about the pill and the effects that it have on the attraction of women and their hormone cycle. And she, you know, says like, yeah, I have some resistance towards taking the pill because it messes with my hormones. It also doesn't have me ovulate, so my attraction is not so high in that period because it just doesn't happen. What is your stance? I mean, we always want to practice like safety in general, but I do think that the pill, it messes with the hormones, the natural cycle of women, and that it does have like an impact on women, their physiology.
Yeah, sure. On that note, 100%, dude. I have nothing more to say on that, because that happens and then if they stop, if a woman's on the pill for like years and then all of a sudden she tries to get pregnant, it's going to be harder for her to get pregnant because all of a sudden it stopped her natural cycle. Then like, when will a natural cycle kick into gear? And then it's like, also like I've been with women, like they feel a lot more fatter when they're on the fucking pill. Sometimes it messes with them psychologically. Sometimes they're definitely not that they're not as horny on the pill. I remember having one woman I was with, she was on the pill, she wasn't as horny, got her off the pill. Like, man, she was like fucking, it was night and day between her horniness levels, and then also the mood swings as well, man. It was like, it's quite like, I understand the safety of it as well, man, but then as I said, it's just like everything has its pros and cons, so it's just like weighing it up as well. But remember, I got a woman who was pregnant and she was on the pill, but the thing is, if guys are sitting here going, I'm not going to get a chick pregnant even though she's on the pill, it's like, it's ridiculous to say that, because the pill is only 97%. And then if she is taking it at the right times, if she has a right time of day, all these other things.
Yeah, there's a lot of responsibility, because sometimes I think like, hey, if there would be a pill for men, I mean, I don't like the pill. You could maybe use like abstinent, or no, not, how do you call it? How do you call it? No,
just don't fuck, bro.
Don't fuck. No, I don't mean absence. How do you call it when you pull out? The pull-out game. Your pull-out game has to be like strong, you know. But
bro,
when
that's like not get an STD or
you don't want to get pregnant, man. You're like just
don't have sex. That's it. Like that's the part that you're gonna fucking cut in this podcast. You're like, just don't have sex, bro. That's it.
But when there would be a pill for men, it would actually make more sense for the men to take the pill, because they can then take ownership of getting a girl pregnant or not, because now it's completely on the woman to take the pill to not get pregnant. But once she is pregnant, I mean, the baby is growing in her, and in the end, she makes the decision if she wants to keep the baby or not.
Yeah, man, for sure. It'd be fucking super epic. Yeah, that happened. Man, so many, yeah. For the pill for the women, as I said, there's like, just go on Google, man. For that stuff, like go on Google and you look at like all the effects that the pill has on a woman. And
because bro, that panic attack that you have as men, like, oh my God, she may be pregnant and whatever, like, whoa, I'm not ready for that, you know, or I'm only ready for that with the right person. Like it makes my cock go limp when I even think like, shit, man.
I say this to dudes, I'm like, just stop coming in women unless you want to give them a fucking baby. Like, man, I've had too many scares of guys like, it won't happen to me. It's like, oh man, like I've had way too many. And I was just like, the one that stopped me, man, was when I got a woman pregnant. And then on the 3 months they were meant to get a scan, that day, she actually, the day before, she had a miscarriage.
Mm.
And I'll never forget that, man, because I had such a visceral experience, like, because she had a miscarriage on the day before, and she was at work. Blood was everywhere, 30 missed calls on my phone, raced to the hospital, seeing a woman's face in that distress, man, fucking hell, dude. And going to abortion clinics as well, like, when you do that a few times, and then you see a woman go through that experience, man, it's like it's like it shapes you as a fucking man, of like going through this consistently and going, fuck, man, I don't want to ever see a woman go through that again. I have so much, you know what it boils down to, man? I have so much love and respect for women, like, really. I never used to. I think it was like my jaded, my upbringing of like trying to control and manipulate women, maybe from my perspective, my mum, which I really delved into. But now it's like I really have worked so intensely on that, and I have so much love and care for women. I love women so fucking much, but it wasn't always like that. And I've had parts of my life where I haven't spoken to like 5 of my family members. Now I have a relationship, and a really great relationship with all my family members. And it's because of the work I did. And just going back to your point before about sex, it's like people think this great sex happens. It doesn't. Great sex happens when you put your attention into it, like anything. And that's where I put my attention into, like, I'm going to learn this shit. I don't want to fuck up. I don't want to hurt and fuck up any more women. I've hurt a lot of women, man. I fucking lied, cheated, fucking all that shit. And I want to have a really good relationship with my family, and then I want to have a really great sex life. And it happens by fucking like working on it and going. People are like, oh, just honeymoon period. That's just like, no. You got a foundation of love and care, and then you can really fucking function. Then you can look into, there's a thing called like the erotic blueprints, which is that lady really does that. I think there's like Sex, Love and Goop. You can go check that out. It's fucking cool. And they break down like your erotic blueprints, and they talk about that shit. That's not my work. That's someone else's work. But fuck, there's so much to go into, man. It's just like, the foundation is this. Yeah, the foundation is like, have the fucking care in your heart, bro, and also have the backbone, if I can really encapsulate everything.
Is that something that can make men last longer in the bedroom? Sure. That they just masturbate by themselves or get aroused by themselves? Or what's the ways that men can last longer in the bedroom?
Yeah, great question, man. That's fuck, man. Answering that question to me, asking that question is like, how did the internet start? The reason I say that is because the reason I say that, and I don't try and like dismiss your question. I'll give one specific tip, because there's like all these products out there for $97 and like $200, and this one fucking breathing technique to last longer. And it's like, man, we actually have, if we were to do a 4-hour fucking assessment of their mental, emotional, and physical well-being. And we delve into that for 4 hours, and then I have a specialist dive into their specific fucking own sexual blueprint about what's going on with their fucking stuff. This is what pisses me off. Like, there's one thing, like, for free speech for this, man, what pisses me off about this sexuality movement, it's like they go, just breathe, man, just feel. Or just here's this fucking pill and that's it. Or here's this psychological thing. It's so fucked up. And that's what annoys me. But what I can do is I can give you one technique that can help guys last longer. Just a really simple thing. A lot of men have been conditioned to this, man. Is my internet breaking up a bit?
No, it's fine.
So a lot of men have been conditioned. See how I'm sitting like this, man? See how I'm sitting like this? Mm-hmm. We've been conditioned. Oh my God, like I'm 11 years old. Most guys start jerking off at about 11 or 12 years old. They've been conditioned to tense their fucking body, lean over the computer screen, tense their neck, their head, their mind, like this, bend over their thing. They're sitting in the chair all day. They're locked at the fucking hips. They're locked like this, and they're fucking tensing. And then what they're doing, they're grabbing their cock in the death fucking grip as hard as they can, and they're jerking as fucking quick as they can. And like all of a sudden, they're 12 years old now. They're on the fucking little screen, and they're hunched over, and they're fucking like really like going fuck. It looks funny, but it's actually really fucked up long term. So they're trying to be marathon runners, but they're training to be sprinters. So they're like this, they're jerking it, man. And then what's happening? They're on high alert, mate, because all of a sudden they go, fuck, I hope mum doesn't walk in the room, and then your mum's yelling in the background, Andrew,
take off my bra, take off my bra.
Yeah, take off my bra. Take my mum, not now, I'm jerking off. Like, fucking give me a second, So you're really whacking it off. Mum's like, dinner's ready in 5 minutes. And you're like, you're trying to whack off even quicker now, and you're like going as fast as you can. It's like, I'm like, Mom, I'm coming, give me a fucking break. And then you're even more tense.
I'm coming, yeah, I'm coming.
She's like, I hope she doesn't walk in the door. And then all of a sudden you're like, fucking quickly, bang, and you bust out a nut. You come all over the fucking computer, and you quickly wipe it off, and you sit in shame, hope no one fucking saws you. And then you're like, your fucking cock's so sore because you're doing it so fucking tight. And then you're like, going, oh fuck. And then you have to walk out there and like dazed and confused, like, what the fuck just happened? And you've been watching porn the high internet speed. And then it's like, most guys like go, 1, get off the fucking porn. 2, change your masturbation habits. Instead of like jerking off like this, you're beating off like a beater because you're hunching like in like the beater fucking like is like this.
Schmiegel style.
Start beating off like a fucking alpha, even though I don't like the fucking terminology, but you get what I mean. Just fucking shit. Start beating off like a fucking alpha, like fucking back, open up your chest, relax, and start fucking grabbing your cock nice and slow and playing with it gently. At the start, you're like, bro, this is fucking boring because you don't have any feeling. Maybe do this, man. Go jump in a bath and just like seduce yourself and touching and start like waking up all the fucking sensations in your body, which might take like a month or 2. That's what I'm saying. Working with me is fucking boring, but like I'm like it's not a quick fix. And I'm like, I'm coming from that culture. Like, let's get this shit done once and for all, so you can be a beast in the fucking bedroom. And that's how you can last longer, man. In short, but I'm like, if you're training like that your whole life, it's gonna like, no wonder you're not lasting longer. No wonder you fucking can't get it up. And women can feel that. Women can really genuinely feel when you're fucking beating off too much because they can just feel your fuck. You got me excited, man.
And how do you, and how do you compare the porn addiction and the porn images that we have, which is this ultra taking dominant, bam, stick it in without foreplay thing, combined with some things that you said, like, oh yeah, you're the dirty little girl, like, yeah, you like it when daddy fucks you, right? Oh my god, you're so naughty. Like, it's our secret, but it stays like, you can do that, you know, with the verbal stuff, but also some stuff that you see in porn, it's just so denigrating sometimes, the place that it comes from, you know? So how do you strike the balance between that assertiveness, that dominance, and then the kind of images you see in porn in general, which some women also get accustomed to, I mean, it's nice sometimes to be dominant, but some women also like they always do this, and then anything that becomes the same becomes a bit boring, right? Not me, man.
You're good at that, bro. Like that was pretty fucking on point, mate. So that was kind of like 2 questions in one. I feel like it was like, okay, what about the porn culture, and then what about the
because there's something about that dominance that sometimes is just taken aggressive that women like, and you see some aspects in porn, but if you're just going to reenact porn fantasies, it takes away some of the intimacy and connection that you have, right? So where do you strike the balance?
Why can't you have intimacy and connection with dominance?
You can, but is there something you can learn from things that you see in porn about what women like?
Sure. I'm saying this, when you can watch porn from a place, if you're seeing this like this, it's like anything, man. Like, if you have a fucking if you have a cupcake a fucking week, it's not going to destroy your life, you know? But if you're having 2 cupcakes every fucking day or a cake every day, it's going to destroy it. So when I'm like saying to dudes like don't watch porn, I'm saying if you're watching porn, man, once a fucking week or once every few weeks, cool, bro. But like at the same time, like if you feel like it's absolutely like taking away from your life, and you're seeing it's like affecting you going out there meeting women, and it's actually a really unhealthy habit that you just see it's fucking keeping that low vibe, bro, it's completely different. When I see dudes like whack, hey man, I whacked off to porn like once every 2 weeks, like cool, bro, do what you want. I've seen my life significantly got better when I haven't watched porn, but I'm just like saying at the same time, I'm just like, if a guy wants to do it, it's cool. But at the same, but when you're asking the question, can they learn shit from porn? Of course, man. You can like see stuff, but at the same time, if you're like saying women only like this, what I've seen in porn, it's completely false.
Because sometimes I watched like older soft erotica, or you know, like porn that was a bit older. You sometimes see the woman really caring and enjoying, and they build it up, and it's not immediately like sequence of like getting the blowjob, fucking her, other position, then coming, right? So there's also, and I don't know if you know sites about this besides following your course, that gives a kind of realistic view of like sex that is more about care, intimacy, also dominance. Because I saw sometimes some porn movies like, oh, this is kind of nice, you know, this is kind of sex that I can also see myself having and that I can relate to.
Yeah, there's actually one that I'm missing off the top of my head right now, but it's like yeah, my ex-girlfriend and I were going to shoot conscious porn. It's actually called conscious porn. We're looking into it, but it's more like, understand, it's not just like quick, deep fucking like hardcore blowjob scene and that's it, and then just moving on from there. But like maybe instead of like some guys like watching like the build-ups, the scenes, the different fucking aspects of this stuff, understanding like the characters. I also like really recommend that guys watch a movie called The Secretary, which is a really fucking epic movie. Have you seen that one?
No, I know it's about role play and dominance, I think, and dominatrix or something. I don't know. But...
yeah, well, it's a really fucking great movie about dominance, like a man taking leadership in the bedroom and like that control. It's like really fucking beautiful, and then like the psychological aspects of it. And in regards to porn sites, yeah, I highly recommend the guys like just like using porn now to like, if a guy's watching porn and you see it's really directly affecting his life consistently, I just don't do it. But if you're watching it here and there, man, it's no big fucking deal. I used to be like, no porn whatsoever. Then I talked to a few mentors. I go, well, if a guy's watching, I'm like, it's true. It's just like, hey, they watch it fucking every few weeks. It's okay. But I'm just like saying, like, if it's eroding their fucking like sex life, if they're not fucking their wife anymore, if they're like not going out to the clubs, if they're actually just like, it's like consuming them. So, but you can learn some stuff from watching porn. But if you're thinking, oh my God, this is what just women like, and I'm going like, it's acting. But then at the same time, you could maybe like, oh, that's a cool position. Or maybe I can learn from that. That's also an aspect of doing that. But if you're like, I'm just going to do this and women will like this. No, I always say to women, I always say to men, I'm shit in bed. The reason I say I'm shit in bed is because it's like, I don't know what I don't know. Every pussy is different. Every woman's different. And when I'm with a new woman, I'm always asking the questions about what she likes, what she doesn't like, how she wants to be fucked, how she wants to be touched, what she wants to do, how she comes, how she fucking likes experiences. Because things I don't know, I can have a good understanding about a blueprint because I've been with enough women, but at the same time, I'm still like coming from a beginning.
Yeah, but I had this conversation with a girl recently, and sometimes I love it when women give me like feedback. Maybe with their body, it's maybe better, but she said like, if I'm going to give you feedback at the moment, like I'm enjoying it so much, it takes me a bit away from the moment and the enjoyment that I have.
Yeah, exactly, man. But the thing is, you can also like, for the first few times, you can go, hey, just go higher, lower, faster, slower. More pressure, less pressure, like more or less. So you can just like more, higher, faster, lower. So then she goes, okay, fuck. Oh, higher. Yeah, faster. Yeah. Like it's like that. So it's not like taking out the moment. So it's like like that. And then what you can do is a thing called a sex survey. So at the end of the moment, because in the moment you fucking had that fucking great connection, then at the end of this, bro, what you can do is this. It's super fucking cool. At the end of the sex, like you don't go, now, what was your favorite position? Did you like it doggy style? Do you want me to come on your face next time? Ha, 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 ha. No, you don't do that. You sound like a fucking weird cunt. What you want to do is this. You just literally just like have a chat with her at the end, like, fuck, you know what? When you were riding me like that, or when you did that, or like, I really like that. What did you like about that? Oh, yeah. Do you know what? When I grabbed you by the neck, that was so hot. Like, did you like it when I grabbed you by the neck? So you're getting feedback at the end. It's building a deeper bridge of connection because she actually feels like you care because you're asking about the sex and the experience. And then the next time you do have sex, you'll know. Maybe don't choke her as hard. Maybe like grab her harder then. Maybe like spank her more. Maybe she likes it when you put your finger in her mouth. Maybe she likes it when you like really start off slow. Hey, is there anything that I could like do a little bit better next time for you? Like, oh yeah, actually, you could like, do you know what, next time I'd like to dress up like this. Oh, are you actually into this? And see how you've created the dynamic of the sexual connection that you start talking about. And then the next time you do this, that's why sex gets better and better and better with the person who you're seeing. It gets, and you leave women better and wetter. When you leave women better and wetter and consistently, to leave women better and wetter, it's like this, bro. You can like be like, get her a drink of water after she's fucking had after you had an epic session. Maybe get her some fucking chocolate. Maybe give her a fucking cuddle. Maybe get her in a cab home. Maybe you say she can sleep in your bed. Maybe like you say
aftercare, right? Aftercare,
all
also.
That shit. Aftercare, better and wetter. So you do this stuff consistently, and women like, oh my God, you're the most amazing man. First time I fucked this girl, I was just seeing this recently. I'm like, hey, I'll drive you home. She's like, she could fucking barely walk, man, after we had an experience. I'm like, all right, get on my bike, sit down.
Get her a wheelchair.
Yeah, get the fuck. Yeah, make your own way home. She can't even fucking walk, mate. But shit like that. But guys fucking forget this, man. Or like pay for a cab home. It's like, holy fuck. It's like, but it's a one night stand. Like, come on, motherfucker. You just picked her from there. Like, pay fucking $50 or so. Put her in a fucking cab. Like, well, whatever it is, man. Like, you know, like.
Bro, I love you speaking your truth, man. I think we could talk like for hours on this topic, and I see you're very passionate about this. Tell the listeners and viewers a bit more about all the awesome stuff that you have, your programs, and maybe a bit more about the book that you're writing and that's coming out soon.
I don't do anything. All I'll do is I'll give you a hand job and you can just pay me fucking $5. You know, that's how you can find me. OnlyFans. what I do is I got a book coming out soon, man. It's called Best She Ever Had: Practical Advice and Powerful Techniques. So you're the one she brags about. So yeah, if you want to be a fucking beast in the bedroom, that's it. Go check out my YouTube, man. As I said, if you vibe with that, you'll see a lot of cool shit on there. I give away most of my shit for free.
It's called Sexual Quantum.
Sexual Quantum Leap. So Sexual Quantum Leap. Yeah, you look at that, and that's super easy to find, man. And also just I know on Facebook, Andrew Mayok. I don't know, man. That's it. Yeah.
The legend. A last question. Do you see any benefits, or is it sustainable with some people who advocate for the no-fap movement? Or should a man come every couple of weeks and get rid of their semen because it cleanses the body and it's healthy?
I just say, I think it's this, man. No-fap is crap. And I made a video about this. I got a lot of fucking flack. Because the reason I said that is because there's I like a lot of no-fap in the respect of it's helping men get off porn and they're going out there and meeting women, stuff like that. But then it's if you're not but the thing is I'm gonna not fap until I meet a girl, but then guys don't have the skills to meet women, so then they get frustrated and they're not gonna watch porn. But then, the reason I say no fap is crap is because you can still play with yourself and you can still self fucking pleasure and you can still get yourself to that peak and start circulating sexual energy. So I'm encouraging guys to masturbate and have healthy masturbation practices, because what happens if they just go no fap and they have those ridiculously fucking shit masturbation habits and they're doing no fap as a way to help them last longer? No, we've got to fucking cultivate a lot of fucking shit about your masturbation habits, your mental, your emotional, your physical, what's actually going on. How can we actually understand your body? Why are you actually coming? Because I can't get it up. It's because of this, because I'm fapping too much. Maybe it's porn. There's so many alpha inhibitors in regards to erectile dysfunction and premature ejaculation that guys just think, it's my fapping and my porn. There is porn-induced alpha inhibitors that actually stop men from fucking having erections, correct, and premature ejaculation. But what happens if it's fucking something else? And this is where guys get lost in this thing where it's no fap. I love the movement from that, but there's a lot of crap in it, because it's men are stopping their masturbation, and men should start continue healthy masturbation practices, which will help them long term.
Preach, brother. I love you speaking your truth bluntly. I never had so much fucking in an episode and talking about fucking in an episode. Thanks for being a guest on the podcast, man, and looking forward to your book. And yeah, man, keep speaking your truth and changing their lives. I love it, man.
Thank you for having me. Thank you, bro. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
If you like this podcast, don't forget to subscribe and support our mission of freedom of speech. With increasing restrictions on fundamental freedoms, we believe that now, more than ever, is the time for you to be an online coach or consultant and become independent from the system. That's why we created the Client Closer Academy. Learn how to consistently enroll clients and join a community of fellow free thinkers who value personal responsibility, speaking their truth, and making an impact. Find out more at clientcloser.com/academy. Rant over.